Welcome to a brand new episode of AV Tiles and Sanitary Kollam, the authorized dealer of Kajaria tiles in the city of Kollam. Today we are going to discuss the batch variation in the tiles. Those who have laid the tiles in the house once, or contractors or architects who do it on a day-to-day basis or monthly basis, they already are aware of this fact. But for the new customers or those people who are going to use tile in near future, this is something they should be aware of, and that is batch variation in tile. So let's delve into it a little bit more. A batch in a tile is generally denoted by an alphabet and 2-digit with a hyphen in between. One is that pattern, and another pattern which most of the companies use nowadays is the date of manufacturing itself. So since the date is a unique number and is never repeated, especially when the day, month and the years are used. So this is something which the tile manufacturers have started using nowadays. So batch is denoted by, as I told you, either by a specific number or the date. So this is what we need to know about the batch in the first place. Now let's find out what else we need to know. So if big companies, multi-million dollar companies are maintaining these nomenclatures to make sure that their materials are stamped with the batch in which they were built, so there must be something really important about it. And what is this importance? That is what we need to understand. See, tiling is basically, or tiles are basically a baked product, which means some real tangible raw materials are mixed together and they are heated for a long period of time. So when this heating process is involved, that implies that one batch will be definitely different from the other batch, because the heating or the constant heating and the movement of the tile through this heated burner, it cannot be controlled. So which means every tile which is manufactured under one batch number will be slightly different in its hue or its color or the shade a little bit from the next batch. And that is where it is very important that we should know whether we have received single batch material for our project or we have received multiple batch products. So if you received two batches, so does that mean that one batch is better than the other? No, it is never the case. Batches change and they indicate that these two batches, the same material in two batches, might have some difference in color or in shade of the original design. But it's batch never ever shows the quality of the material. The quality of the material is always shown in a different nomenclature, which could be first, second, third. That is one nomenclature, and another nomenclature is premium, standard and utility. So these nomenclatures are different from the batch nomenclature. So be aware, you need to note batch number just so that you know whether you have received single batch material or multiple batch material. It never implies, I repeat, it never implies quality of the material. So is it a problem if you have received multiple batches in your project? I would say no, because no shop can deal in single batch material all the time, like 100 out of 100 times they cannot do. But what is problematic is that the two batches come to a project without the knowledge of the contractor or the customer. Let's discuss that in detail. That some dealer sends the material to your project site without notifying you that there are multiple batches involved is nothing short of a crime. And we'll show you what happens when batch varied material comes to the project without the project owners or the contractor's notice. So that is the only thing which we need to consider about batch variations, that whatever happens, it should happen with our knowledge and our consent as a customer. And now we'll show you, this is such a big showroom. This is Kajaria's own studio space that we have here, and 7 years back when this particular tile which is laid on the floor right now was launched, and Kajaria themselves brought this, they selected this for studio floor, and this material was brought by them and their own people came to lay it, but still there was a batch variation in it which happened without anybody's knowledge. And those varied batch materials, they somehow made their way onto the floor without the knowledge of the supervisor, without the knowledge of the tile worker or we as the studio owners. Maybe you are seeing it as I am speaking this, you are seeing that difference, and I hope you can feel the difference of the batch variation on the floor. So I hope this doesn't happen to your home or your commercial project while you are doing it. So make sure that when you are negotiating with the dealer, when you are negotiating about your project, you make sure that you also mention that batch should be same, or at least if there are multiple batches, they should be notified to you very clearly, and if possible along with its batch numbers. So should you insist on single batch every time? No, because if it is a project and if it is a big order, then single batch material will automatically come from the factory to your project. But if you are operating a small house or a small villa project, or if it is a small house for yourself, the problem with asking for the same batch tile is that you might have to wait from anywhere between 14 to 45 days. And that is a delay which you may not be able to afford at that point of time. So it is not a problem at all to use multiple batch material as long as you, your contractor, and the person who's laying it, the technician, if all three of you are aware of the multiple batches, that can be taken care of without any problem. And you should never be worried about batch varied material. So I hope this episode brought some insight in this boring subject called tiling. And stay posted with us for more such informative videos. We'll bring a lot more such tips in our forthcoming episodes. Subscribe if you have not yet. Like, share and comment like always. Thanks for watching.